Walters. He's Brett Grasso. This is the Locked Up Sports NFL Week 7 Jets-Giants report. Cover the whole league. And Brett, a disaster for the Giants. Listen, what can you say? That's one that's right up there with the all-timers. They gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter. But I'm someone who comes in the way that it's not that bad because a lot of good happened and the Giants just aren't ready to win. And I think the Giants aren't ready to win yet. And I think they have to learn to win games like that. But this one, it's as rough as it gets.
It is. There's a certain point where I really hope it does become a learning experience for Jackson Dart, because you can't really put it all on him for why they lost. But there is a point where he could have kept them from losing. And if he did the right thing, and hopefully later in his career in a situation that's probably going to be much more important than this week was versus the Broncos, he's going to make a much better decision than throwing that interception that put the Broncos right back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you want to go down to the core of it, they shouldn't even have run the pass play. You don't run a pass play there. And no. I get it. Yeah, I get it. But another thing to make the Giants fans feel a little bit better is you never should have won that game in the first place anyway, because when you got in the middle of the fourth quarter, because 4th and 19, you're down, the game's over right there. That's a 1 in 100 conversion rate on 4th and 19. Now, obviously, through the first 3 quarters, they dominated the game. And I think if you focus on that, I think the Giants are back. I think they're on the right path now. They have a quarterback. I don't like the coach, and I hope that this is the kind of thing that maybe leans towards getting him fired, but I don't think he's going anywhere. I think you're right about that because he's with the quarterback now. He's linked in with the quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I agree, and you could have worse coaches, and you never know what you're getting. And so it's one thing if you've got a known commodity and there's some perfect coach that's done it everywhere else and going to step in and got a great track record, but God forbid you bring in a first-year coach that happened to be a great coordinator somewhere. You have no clue. No, so I like Dable. I'd stick out at this point. And I think next year's Dable's year. You got to do well next year. But you are preparing and become a team that looks good all around. I mean, defense looks good. Offense looks good, even though you lost your number one weapon. Special teams looks good.
That's right. Without Neighbors. It's all done without Neighbors.
This is a very big piece. And I really said, I believe that this was a playoff contending team with Neighbors, and that was before yesterday, which is a win with Neighbors, right? There's no way you lose that game if you add that to the equation.
I mean, listen, there's no way you should lose that game, period, right? You're up.
No, you shouldn't.
You're up 19-0, and then up 26-8. Because even when Denver got their first touchdown, right? They got the 2-point conversion. It's now 19-8. Right off the bat, the Giants get the flip, the tipped pass, and into the end zone. It was all going right.
If you run the ball and just run it and forget there won't be timeouts, they honestly wouldn't have had enough possessions to win.
No, they would have needed an onside kick.
Yes, so that's a coaching problem. Like when you look back and you go, that's not on a rookie quarterback. That one pass is, but leading up to how did we get here? And that is bad play calls going down the stretch when they wanted to say, oh, let's put the game away, as opposed to we can guarantee ourselves a win if we just don't give them one extra possession.
Yeah, and the thing that I like is the pass. Yeah, the pass was a bad pass. He short armed it. It should have never been a pass play to begin with.
So a lot of good passes.
But listen. It's the only to go into a place like Denver against that defense. That's a tough place. It's loud. It's raucous. The fans are crazy over there, and to go in there and have that be the only mistake is very good for a rookie. And then on top of that, after that mistake, he drove them down the field and took the lead with a minute to go. Right, so he still was playing. He was still winning. He's a winning player. And what are you going to do? Like you said, I don't think the loss matters. I don't think the loss really matters because.
I don't think it does. I think a win would have mattered. I think a win would have spurred this team into a different mindset for this year. And I think it would have turned this team into wow, if we go win next week, we're right in there for all of it. Really all of it. Because you still have to go play the Eagles. You go beat them. You go beat the Washington,
the Commanders aren't any good, right? It's a down year for the Commanders.
I know.
Down year for the quarterback.
I know. And then you have the Cowboys are beatable. And then, so that
Cowboys have no defense.
No, and so it's more of you can establish yourself in those wins. The loss doesn't matter. You're right. I don't think that they're going to make the playoffs. I think that the win and wins going forward matter as a statement of who this team is, and you want to learn how to win, and especially when you're ahead. That's how you know you're a good team. You never let somebody come back.
And then on top of, and then the real thing that bothers me is like, can we make it? Why can't the Giants get a kicker?
Oh, no, that's
I mean,
killer.
you're missing 2 extra points. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Has cost you. Is that so? Now I don't. I'm trying. I haven't. The early Giants games, there was another game where at least having a kicker would have won you the game, right?
Yeah, they've lost 3 games now on field goals at the end of the game.
3
on the last play. Last play of the game, 3 games.
So forget about yesterday. If you just look and go, Graham Gano, first of all, with the late
and
scratch
Graham
is one thing.
Gano, he got hurt during the national anthem of the game against the Chiefs.
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row. But that's an issue. Like, Coach Dable's picking these guys to replace him, right? He's looking at them early in the week. He's watching them kick, and they can. Yeah. And like, no, there's a reason. Extra points.
I'm just sorry. There's a reason why there's a whole bunch of free agent kickers. There's a reason why. It's because to some reason or another they aren't consistent, or they can't do this, or whatever that is. It doesn't matter. I want to talk to Graham Gano's, trainer, and who's getting him ready for games, because this is getting stupid. I'm being serious. Like, kicking at this point has become 50 plus is automatic.
No, you can't miss 50 yards. 50 yards. 50 yards isn't long anymore.
You got extra points are important now. Like, it used to not be important. It used to be where me and you would have made, you would have made 9 out of 10. I would have made 5 out of 10. And now it's not like that anymore, and every point matters, and now you're one pass away from kicking a 62-yarder. I got Nick Folk. I will say he kicked a 58-yarder this year for the Jets, but I don't even know how that happened. But
and then last week they wouldn't let him kick it. They wouldn't let him kick it last week.
I'll never get over that. First of all, I'll never get over that.
But that's honestly the kind of thing.
And we'll get into this in a few minutes, but that's the moment that Aaron Glenn lost me.
Yeah,
and then he pulled it again this week, and that's when I was totally gone.
And the kickers, listen, like, I don't know, I haven't seen yet, I haven't looked, but I'm guessing the Giants released this guy today, right? I'm guessing he's back on the job.
I was hoping they wouldn't bring him back on the flight. That was crazy. You don't bring that guy back on. That's coach.
Make him pay for his flight back. But like, how are you gonna, like, you can't be missing extra points, because it's at the point now where there actually, I don't know how serious the discussions are, but there have been discussions in the last year and a half of possibly making the goalposts a little narrower, because the people are making so many field goals and the kickers are so good. And the Giants are out here losing games and they've lost multiple games because they've lost this extra points. They can't kick an extra point. They don't have a kicker. They're missing 30-yard field goals. You're like, well, what are we doing? There's got to be guys out there that you hit 50 yarders or 60 yards. Like,
no, the other guys don't even flinch. They knew they weren't missing it when I watch these other guys. Like, they know they're not missing. Like, it's not a question when they kick the ball. The coaches are like, cool, we're good. And they're never wrong anymore. It used to not be like that. But, like, it is crazy how bad the Giants kicker selection was for this year, in a year of the kicker. Like, this
it's every year. It's like this every year. They did the same thing last year. Last year they played 2 games where they didn't have a kicker. They couldn't kick extra points.
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him, but we got Rodrigo Blankenship kicking $600,000 field goals on College game day. And he's sitting there waiting for a job. He's doing, you know what he does in his Insta or in his Reels?
Kicks, right? He's like a content creator.
He redoes every famous kick, whatever that means. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever. It's worth.
Does he miss the Norwood one wide right? Does he do that one, or does it got to be making?
You know what it is about a guy like that would be awesome. But you know what it is about a guy like that is, he's at least got some confidence. Your Giants kickers don't have confidence. Like, that guy wasn't confident.
There's a reason why nobody's taking him, though. There's a reason why. If it's different when
that's what I said about the other guys. That's kind of what I was thinking too when I said that earlier. Is you're right. There is something. I don't know what's wrong with him either, and it's probably the kicking part for all these guys. They don't even care about your personal problems anymore.
Also, you don't know if that's the 30th kick that he's kicked that he made it.
No.
You don't know how many he's missing.
Not with any of that stuff. No, not for any of that. And especially when put a line in front of you and now they actually rush you hard and they're getting on you.
And you got to be on timing.
Different. You know what? I have one for you, Bob. This has been burning me, and I'm glad I just thought of it. Like, why in God's green earth are they not backing up to kick the field goal, say on an extra point, 7 yards back? Snap it all the way back where they can't get to you no matter what.
Well, because
on an extra point, I get it on a long field goal. On anything else, give yourself 2 extra yards.
Yeah, but on a long field goal, you need it even more
Bob,
because
these guys are crushing them by
it's a
10
lower
yards.
angle. You
Bob,
need a lower
50,
angle.
50-yarder.
7 yards is what
You're
they do
right.
go back, right? 7 yards is what they go back.
No. I'm saying whatever they're going back, you're
Go back
going
10
back
yards?
to on the short ones that they're blocking. I'm sorry, it's the most important thing. You can't miss this. It can't get blocked. Go back 3 extra yards. It's now a 37-yarder.
The center
As
can do
opposed to
it.
35. You think there's a difference between 37 and 35?
No, there's not. But they're missing. He's missing them. Well, they're missing them wide. They don't. It's not. Yeah, you're right. I guess it's not the distance. But
You take away one element. If you take that out of his head, that it can't be blocked. It's as if there's no line there.
Right. And what about and the center the snap's not a problem because the punter goes back 15 yards.
Nothing would matter. It don't make a difference. You just got to practice it more. You just got to practice it. Don't make a difference.
Yeah,
I think that's
actually not a bad. It's not a bad thing to say because
short field goals.
When a hand gets
short
up
field
there,
goals, especially, and honestly, even a long one because you want that low launch angle. And now you can get it.
They very rarely miss them short, and like even when they hit like
No,
64
the
yards,
one,
they make
you
it by
can
5
get
yards.
a better launch angle for 2 extra yards. Yes, you can because it'll be higher by the time it gets there.
Yeah, and I also didn't like that they immediately after they missed the extra for the first extra point, they immediately go for 2 the next touchdown. When now you're just chasing points. Right now you missed the 2. So now you're down 3 points you left out on the field.
I'm against all of the analytics and the numbers games of going for 2 ever unless it brings you to that 9 to 8
in one score or something like that.
And never early when it takes you away. Now you can't get it later. That's the worst one where you have 2 touchdowns to get. One has to be 2. And you go for 2 on the first one?
The first one, you don't do that. You don't do that.
That's the new analytics.
I'm one of the guys who likes to. I like to kick the field goal. Like once I get field goal range, kick the field goal to leave myself more time.
Well, they got themselves, and there was another game that was that scenario.
What about the analytics say that's what you need to? That's what
no,
you
there
do,
isn't. That's what they're doing now. No, they're right
there's a
now.
reason why they're doing it.
Say you're down by 2. No, it's so weird because it takes away. If you don't get that 2, you have no chance to win at that point.
Yeah,
right. So it does not make sense for 1 sec. It has happened repeatedly in the NFL this year, and that is someone saying
you're down 15, right? You're down 15 with 2 minutes left.
And that's not a sudden decision. That's something that's known when you're getting close to that. So this isn't some rushed. Oh, I made a bad decision. That is a choice. That if we're down by 2 and we need a 2 in one of those touchdowns, we're going for it in the first one. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah. I would never do. I don't know. I haven't seen them do that, but I don't.
Twice at least.
That's what they do.
Yeah, no,
but
no good.
And now they're doing. I also saw a thing. I guess it's college that does it where they got to get the heel down to. If the toe comes down inbounds and the heel comes down out of bounds, it's considered not a catch. How does that work? How does that work on the toe drags?
No, it doesn't.
Because the toe drag, you drag your toe, and then the heel is obviously going to come out.
You know what it is? That's a college 1 foot.
That is a college rule, right?
That's a college. No, I'm saying that it's not a. It is not a. You can touch one shoelace and you're in this league. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree.
You're that, but I think it's more because it's 1 foot. They're saying you better make it a good 1 foot. They need to change that to 2 feet. And be more like the NFL, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know why they never did that.
No, if you want to, the closer you get to the team, like college football is going down in terms of, people caring in certain ways, and the NFL is the biggest thing going. You want to do as closely to what they're doing as possible.
But I loved how Dart responded after throwing the pick, right? After he threw that pick, they got it within 10, and then the Giants go 3 and out, right? They go 3 and out. They did bad plays, just bad play calls. They threw it on 3rd down. It was incomplete, so they let Denver still have a timeout even after the pick and everything. And on the 3rd down with the pick, if you run it there, you basically guarantee you need an onside kick, and they don't get onside kicks anymore. Onside kicks were hard to get in the first place when you had everybody just running down and hitting somebody. They're near impossible now to get because 1, you have to tell them you're kicking the onside kick. 2, you're not allowed to really move until the ball hits the
stack. You can't stack the side.
The guys on the side and just go and kill everybody and hope someone gets the ball.
And if you don't make it 10 yards, nothing can happen anyway.
Yeah.
So. And even if it does, and you're smart on the other side, you can stack it in terms of blocking your guys and have. So it's honestly a stack to not have it work. It didn't really need to get there. And how much do you think any factor? Because obviously the Giants defense was playing so well all game. 4th quarter comes, you're in Denver. You're talking about the thin air, which is not a joke. That is a realistic thing. If me and you went there and we went up a flight of stairs, you'd be huffing and puffing. Denver's used to that. Giants defense towards the end, all of a sudden, as much as it was the offense not doing anything, that defensive secondary and their line got no pressure in the end, and the secondary got eaten alive.
Well, they rushed 3 guys on that last play to just let Nick sit back there and pick them apart. And those 2 passes, the 2 passes is what killed him. He went down the field basically in 2 plays, right? Got him in the field goal range, and they only rushed 3. But the Giants defense in the whole game, especially at that goal line stand right before the half, was huge. And
they got
Giants
tired.
Imposed their will on this team. Like I've seen the Giants dominate a game like that in a long time.
Do you know what a big part of that is? When you have a competent offense that can convert on third downs, your defense becomes so much better. And that's the thing. Like, you even watch, and like, there's a couple games, and where if you don't do that, like, and your defense has to keep coming out on the field, which is exactly what happened in the fourth quarter of the Giants, they get gassed. As soon as they're back out there 2 minutes later, they just were running all over the field. They just drove on you.
Back out there anyway.
You're back out there.
Punting.
42 seconds later, you're back out on the field huffing and puffing in Denver after running around for a couple hours. And that's what happened. And
I wasn't impressed with Denver's defense. I wasn't impressed with Denver's defense.
The crowd got back in the game in Denver, and that was that. You know what I mean? Like, it was tough. Like, it was
I also wasn't impressed with all I heard all week was Denver's defense is elite. The Giants aren't going to be able to do anything. They let the first touchdown the guy got was nobody within in the screen with them behind the defense touchdown. They let Scatterbo run up right up the middle. Yeah.
No.
I'm not that impressed with Denver.
Denver's not been like that. And they've been inconsistent all year.
They did the same thing against the Eagles. They were down 14 points in the fourth quarter, and they came back and beat the Eagles. And
I will give you, 3 weeks ago. And that might even show, and I will say that probably shows to good coaching in Sean Payton, because when you're down by that much, to keep your team in it and to actually formulate a game plan, that you have to make changes because something clearly wasn't working.
A lot of people left, too. There were a lot of empty seats there.
That's funny. Whatever he adjusted to, good on him, because he kept them in that game. And there's a point, like we said, you only had enough possessions to win, and you didn't even have enough left, and you still pulled it off. That's as
and they
good
needed
as
the
it
2-point
gets.
conversions, and listen,
and 2 misses.
Let's say he makes the extra point. Let's say he makes the extra point, right? And it's still going on. It's still going to overtime. You still could lose. You don't win the game there. The game's going to overtime.
Points.
Now, lucky for me, this touchdown right here, the Jackson Dart won me $400. That was a good one.
That's a
right?
good deal.
And I thought it was shot. Then they got down to the 1 yard line with the pass interference.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man.
Do you know what the funny part is, though?
They set them all spread wide, and I was like, it's definitely a quarterback.
You know what happened though? You needed it not to go in and waste a little more time on the clock.
Yeah, well, that was what it was. But then they run Scatterbo on the second. They run Scatterbo on the second. Because I didn't think he got in. I was
that's who I had that would have put me into my I needed Scatterbo, which would have hit me around Robin 6 out of 8.
I was running around here. I was like, they're going to win. And I hit the $400 because I thought I was way out. I almost cashed out at like $25. Like,
how did they score 30-something points without Scatterbo scoring a touchdown?
Joe Scatterbo scored a touchdown. He scored. He didn't score a rushing touchdown. You need a rushing because he scored a passing touchdown. I think 2 passing touchdowns.
Oh, I think I missed that. I didn't care. I don't think I cared by that point. I think I was out of it by that point.
Scatterbo definitely scored. Now, I mean, so anyway, listen now, and it doesn't get any easier for the Giants. And people were saying, like, and me too, I guess, if you want to talk about playoffs with the Giants, just split these 2 games, right? So go into Philadelphia, win in Philadelphia. If you're someone who thinks that the Giants could take the NFC East, let's be real, though. They're still in last place. Like, it's not a good division, and the Giants are in last place in this not good division.
No.
They're not going anywhere. They were never going anywhere. This is a game you're going to look back on, and it at a small, obviously on a smaller scale, much smaller scale, but it's kind of like when they played the Patriots when like week 16 or week 15 of the year they met them in the Super Bowl, and they lost to them. But they played them tough. It gave them belief that they could do it. The Giants are going to they can win any game this year. They might only win 5 games or 6 games this year, but they can be in, and they can win every game. The era of bad Giant football is over. It's over.
You know what the problem is? They could also lose any game this year.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's what teams do.
No, I know, but that's what you are. That's what you get from a rookie quarterback, a young team. This is, and like we said, you can say Dable. He's been here a while now, but it's
this
first year
good.
of like
this quarterback is our franchise. We've got a franchise quarterback.
Right.
That's it.
But you still have to give him a little leeway because he's still going to make rookie mistakes, and it's going to happen. He's going to be, so you're going to go beat the Eagles but lose to the Saints, and you're going to be frustrated, and you're going to get. But that is getting somewhere. That's learning, and honestly, having productive games where you're out there and playing in tough situations. The Jets quarterback can't develop any because by the end of the day, there's never a time where you're competing to win.
He can't even throw a swing pass out on the guy's hands. But listen, the fact that just as big of it would have been just as big as the win. A win is just as big as the fact that after he threw that pick, a huge mistake. The comeback is on now. He went back and he took the team down the field. 4th and 19. He completed a 4th and 19. He got it. They also tacked on 15 yards because of a roughing the passer on that play. You don't get 4th and 19. You gotta have it. He's got the moxie. He's got it. He's got it.
I'm honestly looking forward to seeing him. I'm looking forward to seeing him when he finally gets that timing, and obviously once Neighbors comes back and whoever the next guys are going to be. And because he missed a couple of deep balls that I look and I go, wow, when he finally gets that game, it was over. Like, he missed one or two that I was like,
yeah, on the third down on one of them, yeah.
Big time. And that's not just him. I watched everybody do that yesterday. I watched across the league, some of the greatest quarterbacks miss those throws. Bo Nix was one. He missed 3 of them that the Giants defense could have 3 more touchdowns during that game. Yeah, so there was a few of them that these young guys, once they get together, that's Bo Nix. That's this, they're going to be really good for a long time.
They are. You got our quarterback for the era of Giants losing and just being a laughing stock and everything like that. It's over. We're now on the way up. The turnaround has happened.
I think you are right. And we talked about this, a couple of weeks ago. Now I am at the point of slide, buddy. Now we need you to stay healthy because I get a little nervous now.
You're all of a sudden thinking, I'm turning out that you think I'm writing everything now because we're gonna get to the Jets. I was right there too.
No, once the playoffs are gone and all that stuff, you better smarten up because you're one bad injury from this whole dream scenario going in the toilet. And if you start flip-flopping, what year was Neighbors healthy? What year was Dart healthy? You're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, because NFL careers aren't that long. Like Scatterboo.
No, you guys got a couple years.
3 years. 3-4 years.
And how many years of keeping Neighbors happy do you have?
Yeah, 1. Because eventually they get pissed off. Yeah, you're right.
I got Garrett Wilson over here about to get to that, and he's miserable.
So the Giants lose 33-32, a historic collapse. Nobody scores 33 points in a quarter. No, nobody. You know, it's the only people that have come back from down.
No, you have to be allowed.
Points, you have to be. The only other comeback that was 19 points or more was the Peyton Manning on the Monday night, I think, against Tampa Bay. That's the only other one. And now the Giants are lumped in there. So anyway,
you can't do it. You have to be. The other team has to actually allow you to do it.
At least we're not the Jets. And the Jets, let's get to the Jets one. The Jets, Brett, they sink too. They just keep sinking the new lows. You got another loss, another game with no touchdowns, another game with only 6 points. They lose to a bad Carolina team who couldn't do anything on the road all season. They finally replaced Fields. I guess enough was enough for Aaron Glenn. The 25 yards, 40 yards in the first half was enough.
He did say he was going to air it out this week. He said, "Look out, we're throwing balls this week," and he was and he had couldn't hit that 100-yard mark, but he tried so hard. But no, Bob. At this point, a loss is a win. Our schedule, we've hit the point in the Jets, every Jets fan season, where our championship is getting as close to the number 1 pick as possible. I believe we're there. I don't know how many of these players are going to still be.
Are you going to go?
I don't know how many of these
players
will still be on the team. I don't
possibility
see,
they go 0-6, 0-17, or whatever it is.
I think what's funny is the classic 0-16 team isn't alive in as many of these games in the fourth quarter as the Jets have been. The Jets have been way too alive and in some ways winning in way too many of these games.
Yeah, but they're playing the most unwatchable football you've like that game was. I tried to watch some of that game. It was I couldn't watch it. I couldn't even watch it.
There was a point early in the year where I really thought, wow, maybe Justin Fields can run the ball and maybe he can throw efficiently, passing enough, and that dwindled away very, very quickly. And now, no, he can't hit little simple out routes. He doesn't know how to check the ball down. Forget about down the field. And then, at that point, he just can't, he has no pocket presence. You watch right here, the guy just doesn't see it. So now he's not looking. He's one of those, he's like every Jets quarterback I've ever seen in my whole life. They don't even have enough time to think about where they're going to throw it or what coverage it is. They're just instantly scared and getting crushed before they even know what's happening. It's sick.
And you gotta get rid of the coach, right? Are you now in agreement that Aaron Glenn isn't the guy and he's got to go and it's just a disaster, right? They got it all wrong. This was his handpicked quarterback. Fields was his handpicked quarterback.
I am all for whatever is going to get the Jets to however long it takes to get there. And I believe at this point it comes down to taking the best available college quarterback and bringing in an offensive head coach. Someone proven, someone like Mike McCarthy, or someone that you can actually. It doesn't matter. Someone
but somebody who's like
but
a
that's
competent
proven,
coach.
who's been a coach, who's been a head coach, who knows how to run all of it. It stinks because my philosophy. Bringing in a new coach means you're starting from the bottom. Means next year is going to be awful, and that is a tough thing to swallow. But watching what I watch now, what I thought I was going to get out of a bad Jets team was going to be Aaron Glenn at the microphone, standing up, this guy who preaches accountability and then won't step up and take any accountability at the microphone. That's where I've been lost. Watching the end of the second halves where you go, here you go, we're not going to kick, first of all, the end of a game, we're not going to kick a field goal to try and even win the thing.
Yeah, that was, I couldn't believe they didn't kick the field goal.
It was sickening. You have a chance to actually win your first game. Do you even want to win? The guys actually can kick it that far. Now, will he? Probably not. But nobody will fault you for not making that kick. They will fault you for not trying. Yeah, the only thing you could have done wrong is not try. And then he does that again at the end of every second half. He starts trying to drive. They get to the 50. They give it a shot. They go back to the 50. Instead of throwing a Hail Mary and at least saying, you know what? We may suck, but maybe we can get lucky.
Yeah, they just let the clock run out. He doesn't want to make a big mistake.
And we've watched that in the past where a Jets team last year who sucked. At least Aaron Rodgers was able to throw one Hail Mary at the end of a first half that gave you a shot to make you feel like you had a chance, gave you a little momentum going into something. This is a guy who doesn't understand what matters. And these aren't games where you're not possibly can't win them. They're games where you're actually in them. We're not getting beat 42-0.
Because if you're right. You're right. You're not getting beat 42. But if you make the decision this year, like obviously now it doesn't matter. He's like, don't do it in season. Whatever.
No. You don't do it.
If you do it now, you could beat. You just swallow your pride. Woody Johnson, just be like, listen, screwed up. Right? Wrong guy. I picked the wrong guy. My bad. I only have a couple more years on this earth anyway. My bad. Well, let's change it. But if you have this guy for like 2-3, let's give him another quarterback. Justin Fields didn't work out. You can't have it. He's just and he doesn't know what to say at the press conferences, and he's yelling at the team. You can't yell at professional players, right? You can't scream them into wins and into caring. They don't care. And now they got injuries. Breece Hall's hurt. You got a bunch of injuries piled up. Your offensive line is terrible, right? The Jets can't. They rushed for 81 yards yesterday. They gave up 6 sacks. The hurries are the quarterback's always running for his life.
And that's like you said.
Fields can't even throw a pass like a screen pass.
That's
like he was at that level.
That's the difference between a coordinator and a head coach. A coordinator can go specifically to his cornerback and say, that's not how you play the guy. You're on the inside of that guy, not on the outside. And he can scream at him for it. When you're a head coach and a guy just has a false start and you scream at him for a false start, that is a grown man who goes, you think I wanted the false start?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They look over and they don't respect that.
They're men. They're making this is their job. Don't yell at me.
They will respect you actually telling me a different way to play something.
And how can you yell at them?
They won't respect you just yelling at me.
They're going to go, you haven't won a game. You haven't won a game. Why am I going to listen to you?
No. You had a chance to win a game. You didn't kick it.
Yeah, he didn't kick it. And you know what? He made a field goal. He made a field goal that was like 57. He made it by 10 yards, like 20 minutes before that.
No problem. But no, who wants to win?
Looking at these highlights, I mean, they're throwing the ball into the deep passes, and I'm up. Tyrod Taylor, I thought was better. I think maybe if he gets a full week, he will be better. But I mean, some of these passes, he's throwing it into double coverage. He's throwing it down the field.
You know why it won? And the one thing that Justin Fields doesn't have, and all you need, and every great quarterback has the same thing, and everybody has one. Everyone who's ever been good or even serviceable. They have their running back who they know at the last second they can dump it to. And Justin Fields, him and Breece Hall do not have a relationship.
You can't even hit him in the hands on a swing pass.
But that's the problem is, he doesn't even look that way. Like, that should be your number one of, 1 and 2 aren't there, boom. 1, 2 are there, boom. And all of a sudden, Tyrod Taylor came in and did exactly that. and it just clicked. All it was you're not open, I'm going to give it to you for 6 yards.
Because Tyrod Taylor's a professional quarterback.
Right. And that's the difference of but even in other situations where you'd go, they try and force it to Garrett Wilson, even though he was the guy double covered because Garrett Wilson's saying, throw it to me. And you go, no, I need someone who can be in that huddle and take control and know who gets the ball is the right guy and that's the one thing I liked about Aaron Rodgers. When you go up there, you know the guy who is the weakest coverage guy with the best chance for us is going to get the ball every time.
Like,
now,
he can't
the
read
problem
the
was everybody
defenses.
stunk.
He can't read the defenses.
Yes.
The phone shadow blitzes out of him.
If you can't do that, you should never, ever start in the National Football League. I'm sorry. If you can't do that, without that, you have no chance. You can be Aaron Rodgers. But some people just can't process. Processing ability cannot be
too fast. The game
taught.
gets too fast for him.
That's every Jets quarterback. The only good ones we've ever had are the Chad Penningtons and the Vinny Testaverdes.
And they're smart. And they're both smart. They're smart guys.
Right. The ones and not that Justin Fields is dumb, but this game is coming at you fast. So if you're like that, you better be trust that
they gave
your
him $30
guy
million
knew where
guaranteed.
he was going.
He's getting $30 million after this year guaranteed.
No, but that's nothing for a quarterback. So that's garbage.
No, you're right, but still, but also,
I'm with you.
But that's another reason why you got to get rid of the coach, right? Because he's now costing you this. On top of it, Woody Johnson probably said, "Okay, pick your quarterback, right? You give him whatever. Pick your quarterback. We'll work it out. We'll give him what he wants. If you want him, we'll make sure he comes in here." Yeah. And he said, "Aaron Rodgers, see you."
Yeah.
He said, "Justin Fields, I want him.
That's what got him.
That guy.
That's what got him." Whereas Aaron Rodgers would have, and he wouldn't have even said yes or no to. You would have been able to take Aaron Rodgers and picked up one of these guys who were the mid-level quarterbacks in this draft, and you would have had, whether Aaron Rodgers wanted to or not, I think he would have
said no. I think he would have said no, and that would have cleared you right there. I asked Aaron Rodgers. I wanted Rodgers. He said no.
No, you bring Rodgers in and you lie through your teeth, and then you do it anyway, like the Packers did. You do the same thing everybody's always done to Aaron Rodgers. You lie. You tell him we're going to give you somebody good, and then you go get a backup quarterback and you make them teach him. They did it to Favre. They did it to Rodgers, and it's worked every time. And so without someone to teach you how to be a good quarterback and these young guys and a good offensive head coach, there's no chance. So don't bring in a guy next year if you're not going to go change the coach.
Even Joe Flacco dueling it out with Aaron Rodgers on that Thursday night game. That was a great game. They both threw for 350 yards.
So you telling me all the Jets back and forth? You tell me all the Jets had to do was just keep re-signing Flacco for minimums, and we would have had a shot the last couple of years.
There's something wrong with the Jets. All the players that leave the Jets are decent, right? All these quarterbacks are now decent. Geno Smith is decent. Sam Darnold is decent. They're all decent quarterbacks now. And what's wrong with the Jets?
It's the same. It's the same old stuff, and it's right from the very top. Decision making of choosing the wrong guy for the wrong reasons, and getting rid of the other guys. All of a sudden, you look and you go, "Wait a minute, who were the guys that made the Jets defense so good?" Robert Saleh. The Jets. They were having offensive problems with the top 5 rated defense last year, and they fired Robert Saleh. And you look back after and you go, wait a minute. Then you go, who was the defensive coordinator at that point? Was Jeff Ehrlich, who they then made head coach, who had no business being a head coach. You look now, where are they? Top 5 rated defense in Atlantic. Jeff Ehrlich, he's the defensive coordinator for the top rated defense. And then you look over at Robert Saleh, he's the top rated defense over for San Francisco. And you go, wait a minute. You know why? The people above them thought those are the guys who weren't working. So
they hire wrong coaches, they get the wrong quarterbacks, and then when they get a great quarterback like Rodgers, it just goes into the shitter.
They don't treat him the right way.
It's crazy, and they can't. They're a little bit cursed. I think that's a team that's cursed. We had one of our buddies in the group chat yesterday saying that the Giants are cursed. I think they're cursed. I was like, no. First of all,
no way.
He's a Yankees fan, right? So he's spoiled. I said he's spoiled because you're a Yankees fan. Listen,
if you win 2 Super Bowls in your lifetime,
4 championships in my life, that's 1 a decade. That's not cursed.
Two
the Rangers
is like
are cursed.
gold.
The Mets are cursed. The Jets are cursed.
2 is gold. I don't even feel bad about the Mets that much because I feel like they've at least given me a couple quality, postseasons.
Yeah,
but like the Jets, it's just over. No, the Jets are like full on curse. You go get beat up by the Panthers, in MetLife, like you're cursed. You're cursed.
Did you see that? What Robert Saleh's brother tweeted out yesterday, taking a shot at the Jets.
I usually keep up to date on his stuff, but no.
He tweeted out. After, because they've had a little bit of thing with, because Saleh didn't leave on good terms with the Jets. He goes, Robert Saleh's brother tweeted out, last year the Jets were 2-3, playing for first place in their division, when Woody Johnson declared the best roster in franchise history needs a spark. Since then, they fired my brother. Since then, the Jets defense has gone from first to worst, and a record of 3-14.
Yep.
And that's a direct shot at Woody Johnson and the Jets.
And the two guys who were making that defense great were Saleh as the head coach.
He was doing a crap job. Coordinator, right? Saleh's not a head coach. He wasn't a good head coach.
No, but no, he was doing a crap job on offense. He was still doing a good job with him and his defensive coordinator, Jeff Ehrlich, were doing, forget about a good job. We now know it was a great job because they have most of the same players. And you know what? Ownership tried to force them stuff like Bryce Huff and stuff that didn't work. And they could have went out and paid other guys where that defense last year could have been even better. They didn't even get the guys they were supposed to get last year. And so let me tell you, I think Saleh was handcuffed, and I think this is coming from Johnson and Johnson ownership.
Bad decisions too, though.
No.
I think he's a good coordinator. He's one of those guys that you were talking about. He's a good coordinator.
Offensively, they were horrific. He was not built to be a head coach, but you're right. But the defense was good, so all of a sudden you got rid of the only good thing you had was the defense. That's the problem. Is the only, and we talked about this with the Giants. What makes defensive good is offensive staying out on the field. What makes offenses good is defenses putting up stops. And so it works hand in hand. And if you have one side that's great and another side that's so bad, you have no chance. If you're both mediocre, you can actually win a playoff game. But you can't have such no balance
but
at
Brett,
all. But now they have nothing. Now we don't even have a good defense. We hung our hats on defense our whole lives. I don't even know what I have.
We're not getting any younger. You're not getting any younger as a Jets fan. It's just now again, another year as a Jets fan. You are not even. You were 2 weeks before. You were a week before Columbus Day, 2 weeks before Halloween, and it's over. And we rebuild, go for the first pick. How many times you're gonna run out of time with this team, right? People are dying. Jets fans are dying now and never seeing their team win anything.
No. Just wait. We're going to take Arch Manning and totally wreck our franchise.
Yeah,
don't you worry. No, the opposite. No, he's not the guy. He's playing terrible this year. It's a joke. It's going to be, we're going to, Bob, just wait. Trade deadline, it's going to be the Jets and their new quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. There's so many worse things coming this season you don't even know. There's so many worse things coming for the Jets. They're going to trade for Shedeur Sanders. Aaron Glenn's going to make his Brian Dable desperation move. And it's not gonna work out. It's gonna be so horrific, Bob. I can't wait.
When you screw up the quarterback, it's like a 5-year thing. They've screwed up the last couple quarterbacks.
Next year is first pick in the draft. Who's our quarterback? That's who it's gonna be. Who we taking?
And they're gonna screw it up again. They're gonna screw it up again.
We are.
I don't know. I haven't even been watching the
it doesn't matter.
College and stuff.
That don't matter. I'm not even don't even matter. So we'll see that later. We don't even know who it is yet. Who's going to be that guy? But
no.
But I will say this: I really believe that the Jets, go for it again. But you better get an offensive guy who is a quarterback whisperer because I'm done with this crap. I really am with this. Defense ain't doing anything. Offense that can't function. It's bad. We have a whole bunch of young offensive linemen that should be developing next year. We just need somebody behind them to throw the ball. The offensive line is going to be so good over the next couple of years.
The offensive line
there's going to be nobody
there. The Jets'
there.
offensive line is terrible.
No. They're kids. They're all rookies or second year. All of them, and they're good. They're honestly good. They're going to be good. I'm not even worried about it. But that they're toast.
So we got another doubleheader, Monday night doubleheader, which I think is just ridiculous. But good game, decent games though.
Plus,
we got the 7 10 o'clock.
Squeeze in game 7 in between. 7 o'clock.
Listen,
Bucks Lions 8 o'clock.
Bucks Lions is a good game. Bucks Lions is a good game. I think the Bucks. That's big statement if the Bucks can win this game. That's a huge. I know the Lions are better. Lions are a better team, but Baker's got something going there.
My two teams I'm rooting for this year now that the Jets are toasted, the Bucks and the Giants, man. I'm I liked watching that Giants game. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, it was great. It was great for about 2.5 hours.
I don't even look forward to Jets games. I look forward to Giants games. And let me tell you, Baker Mayfield and the Bucks, they shouldn't even be considered a sleeper anymore because they just keep winning and then they win playoff games and they may be the team, man, that nobody's looking at.
And you know what? Texans catch a break tonight because that is going to be a 100% disengaged crowd in Seattle.
Wow.
All the eyes on the Game 7.
Wow.
Right?
Who's going to that? They sell
I
out
don't know
that
how
game?
you go to that game. I don't know how you go to that. Yeah, they sell it out, and then they'll be there. But I don't know how you go. I don't.
No, but like
Game 7,
really,
they've never won the pennant, Brett. They've never won the pennant.
No, Bob,
trying to go to the first World Series.
Bob. This game kicks off in like the
8th inning, 7th inning, 6th inning. Yeah. Well, you said you probably late arriving crowd though, like maybe in the parking lot watching the baseball game.
That's halftime. You're talking about, so you're going to sit. Then what? You have to commit. Then at one point you have to walk in and say, "Forget it on your phone."
You're right. It's
so there's a
now you watch the
then you're
7th
just
and 8th
delaying.
in the
You want to
parking lot.
get in your seat to be there for when the 9th comes. So like
it's going to be a disengaged crowd. I think that it's a huge break for the Texans because that's a disengaged crowd. That crowd's going to have one eye on the baseball game. They have to. It'd be crazy not to. I think you're crazy even going to that game.
Yeah, I don't know why you would go. I couldn't do it. Like I could not imagine. Like imagine any of that. I'm sorry. Like I'm not missing.
Road. You sit at home all day. You're nervous.
It's a regular season game versus the Texans. You have work in the morning. You're gonna miss the most important baseball game of your life that you're gonna watch at home.
Yeah. No, yeah, of your life. This is it. They've never gotten, I don't think, within a game. I mean, they were there last night, but they've never gotten within like. This is it.
A lot of tickets are given away. A lot of tickets are given away today. A lot of giveaways.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of tickets on StubHub because you're right. You can't. If you're a real Mariners fan, you could be a real Seahawks fan. You can't go.
Do they play it? Do they play it on the big screen while
they keep them
live?
No, they don't play it live, but they keep them updated.
You need it live. You need a live screen going.
Yeah, but that's what everyone's gonna be on the. That's what I'm saying. One eye on the
big
because
screen.
It's gonna be everyone watching on the. Yeah, but it's not on the big screen. They don't want to play during. They can't play during the game. They can't play like the game on the screen. Nobody's watching the football game. You're gonna hear cheers at random
There's enough
spots.
downtime in a football game and enough in between pitches that it could work out. The timing could work out.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, they're not doing it because But everyone's watching on their phone. The clubs are gonna be packed. People are gonna be not. Yeah. Because Seattle's one of the toughest places to go and play. Toughest places in the league.
How Texas ridiculous that no matter what, even a Game 7, everybody on the West Coast, they will not give them a night game for nothing. It's always 5:00 no matter what. They don't Game 7
because there's more people on the East Coast. Philadelphia, than New York.
No, but no matter what, like it's just funny to me that no matter what, like that's
because the other team is
5:00. It's 5:00. You're at work. Your boss is like,
and the other team's Canadian, so it's not even like you're getting those ratings. So that's it.
So deep.
Like we said, Game 7 tonight. Enjoy Game 7. I'll do something on Game 7 after probably tomorrow or something. We'll do something. You off tomorrow, Brett, or what you do?
I don't know. I'm taking care of that. Who knows?
All right.
Who knows?
All right. Well,
day by day, just like the Jets.
Jets are in critical condition. Giants are now, Giants are on probation. Giants got granted parole. They're on probation now. They just got to stay off the drugs. Report to the probation officer. They'll be all right. What?
LT is the probation.
LT. All right, so enjoy the game tonight. If you're watching the football, don't watch the baseball. It's a Game 7, pennant on the line. Who you got tonight? I got Toronto.
Yeah, I think it's Toronto. The Seattle looked pretty defeated last night. Toronto comes up, and they're just, like you said, I think they actually do have a good shot. It's
the product of the 2-3-2. It's a bad system.
I do think we're going to get a good game out of it, though. I don't think it's going to be like last night. I think you're going to get a little.
It's so high. It's so good.
That's all we really want. I could care less who wins this game.
It'd be nice to see Seattle, but I just think Seattle's going to get blown out by the Dodgers. I think Toronto has a puncher's chance to win it against the Dodgers,
because
but not that Babe Ruth
is that because you have to go through customs? It's bad stuff.
Just arrest them, just to plant some weed on them or something. All right, well, for Brett Grasso, I'm Bob Walters. Enjoy the game tonight, everybody. Jets lose, Giants lose, a disaster, but they're on the way up. Jets on the way down. It's the same old, but for Brett Grasso,
can't go down from where we are.
I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studios. See you.